Am I the asshole for kicking my maid of honor and her mother out of my wedding? I, 28F. Recently got married to my husband, 31 meters. It was a big wedding and it was amazing. My best friend L, 27F, was my maid of honor and she helped with all of my wedding plans. She helped me make my wedding what it was and I was extremely grateful. I decided to let my bridesmaids pick out their own dresses. I just gave them a color scheme to match. The problem came when my niece, 14F, came to the wedding in the same dress as L. I noticed and found it funny as they both had the same hair color and my niece looked like a mini L. The dress didn't look that much like a bridesmaid dress and it looked amazing on both of them. L pulled me aside and started ranting about how my bratty, teen niece came in the same dress as her. I brushed it off and said that the dress doesn't really scream bridesmaid, so it's not like she wore a full of ball gown. L then said that she needs to change her dress. I asked why and she said that she looks better in it and her wearing it is gonna take away from her shine. I then told her that it shouldn't be her shine, it's my wedding and if she's wearing that dress then I'm not gonna be the one to make her change. We moved on from it until L's mother came and screamed at me for ruining her baby's day. I said it's not her day and if they both carried on like this they would be removed from the wedding. She said fine and walked away. Not even minutes later my niece came to me crying because L's mother spilt red wine on her dress. I tried my best to get it off but it was no use. I had a couple dresses in my car for if any of my bridesmaids had an issue with theirs and luckily one fit her nicely. She thanked me and went back to the party. I went to L's mother and brought her aside and yelled at her. She told me that she didn't want to but L told her to. I said I didn't believe her and told her to leave my wedding straight away. I then went to L and told her what her mother said. She then told me that she did tell her mum to spill the wine because she knew I had spare dresses in the car so it wouldn't matter. I told her to leave and told her I needed some time away from her. She refused to. I ended up having to practically push her out of the venue. Her and her mother have been sending me horrible texts and I don't know whether I did the right thing by kicking them out. Am I the asshole? Update. I didn't mention this on the original because I didn't think it was important but lots of people have asked about it. When my niece came to me she told me not to tell her parents what actually happened other than the story she planned to tell them of why she was wearing a different dress until after the wedding because she didn't want there to be a big scene. The next day I went to the hotel they were staying at and told them what happened. They were livid. I gave them L and her mother's numbers and let my sister and brother-in-law know that I plan to cut contact with L and her mother and whatever they decide I will be here for. I gave them the security footage of the venue showing L's mother purposefully pouring wine on my niece's dress and I sent the screenshots of the rude messages which also included both of them admitting to doing it. I'm not sure what's going to happen next but I'm a complete wreck as I've known L since I was 2 and because my mother died when I was young her mum was my only mother figure and now they're both gone from my life completely. Not the asshole. She sounds so conceited it hurts. It's your day and as maid of honor she should be doing everything she can to make sure your day runs smoothly, not be the one to cause you problems. Sounds like a bad friend. Not the asshole. But how did you not know L was that selfish and a bully? Not the asshole. Your friend is a walking red flag. If I were you I would kick her and her mom not only out of the wedding but out of my life too. What the hell did I just read? Not the asshole. Any future texts I would simply reply. You are both adults who chose to assault a literal child over what she was wearing. Until you seek psychological help for whatever possessed you to do that and apologize for your actions I have nothing else to say to you, then block them. Not the asshole, and both L and her mother sound toxic. Her day, not you and your husband's day. What the actual F? She, and her mom, purposely and maliciously humiliated a child for something that was neither party's fault nor intention. That is pretty psycho behavior. Not even seeing she was in the wrong, or that trying to upstage anyone at a wedding is super inappropriate, is a huge red flag. Not the asshole, and don't take her back. Am I the asshole for telling my parents to return my meds or I'll file a police report? I, 21 male, had a surgical removal of a cyst this afternoon. Mine had a pretty nasty infection, so it had to be removed ASAP. I went to the hospital with my fiancé, 19 male, and my parents, 62M, 57F. Everything went very smoothly thankfully, but as my parents were driving me and my fiancé back to our apartment, we got into a discussion about the medication I was prescribed. Now, my parents are paranoid when it comes to anything addictive. I don't blame them. I'm aware that hydrocodone is incredibly addictive, and am wary of it myself. They straight up told me that I shouldn't take it at all, and just take Tylenol and ibuprofen. I told them I'd rather have the medication I was prescribed just in case my pain got bad once the hospital meds wore off. I wasn't allowed to drive after my surgery, so they were supposed to pick up my medication for me. Well, they did. But with 2 of my hydrocodone pills missing. Well, that's fishy. And annoying. I texted my mom basically asking where the pills went. She didn't respond, so I kinda forced it by telling her I'd have to report the pharmacist if it wasn't her. She said, I took the other 2 inches and I took them because that's all you can legally have and drive, fiancé, to work tomorrow, and then, okay. Wow. I had set money aside for him to be able to get an Uber tomorrow if he needed to anyways. Which she would have known, had she talked to me about it or even brought up these concerns at all. I was pissed. I texted this huge paragraph that was basically saying either give them back or I'm filing a police report, that stealing hydrocodone was a felony, that I understand her fear but this was absolutely not the way to go about it. 40 minutes later I get a, "We're here" text and a pounding on my door. I waddle over and open, and my parents are standing in the doorway pissed as fuck. My dad starts by talking about how it was absolutely not okay to threaten legal action, and that I needed to apologize. He said it was his fault that no one talked to me about it, that he's sorry, but then goes on about a 5-minute rant of how I have an addictive personality, I was a smoker when I was 18 and smoke weed, how he's concerned for me, how he would never use the law against me, that the surgeon is giving them out like candy, and that he's heard a lot of cases of people getting addicted to these and didn't want to risk it. I said that being concerned wasn't the issue. He couldn't take away my say on the situation. He couldn't just steal pills from me just because he's scared. At the very least he should discuss his concerns with me like an adult. He did not like that. He played this game of keep away with the bottle, holding it out to me and then yanking it away to say more to me. Just kept arguing. I got them back after a lot of fighting. Am I wrong here? I need to know I didn't overreact. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. The fact that you think you might be means his gaslighting is working. They stole from you, lied to you and tried to manipulate you and then tried to punish you for your completely normal response. Not the asshole. Surgeons are absolutely not just handing opiates out like candy. In fact, many chronic pain patients are now having great difficulty getting meds due to the doctor's reluctance. I got hydrocodone when I had my gallbladder out a few months ago and never ended up taking them, former addict, scared to relapse. But I'd have been pissed if someone took that choice away from me. Hello, I would like to report theft of controlled narcotics. Yes, I'll hold, thank you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. They are your meds, not his. They were prescribed by your doctor in the numbers you were supposed to have received. He stole them because he wanted to substitute his agency for yours. That's not okay, and it's entirely reasonable to demand them back, including threatening to involve the law if necessary. He just complained because he didn't like it that you won this one and he had to give them back. Not the asshole. What they did was inappropriate, controlling, and weird, and they probably would have made excuses not to return them if you had not been heavy-handed. However, context matters. Is this an isolated incident with them, or part of a larger pattern? Is their concern rooted in sincere though misplaced fear because they love you, or an inappropriate urge to control reflecting dysfunction? Do you want to have a healthier relationship with them? Is it possible? Think these sorts of considerations would impact what you do next. Not the asshole, you didn't overreact. Your parents did, though. Am I the asshole for using my money won in a lawsuit on my college funds expenses? Context. I, 20F. I'm going to school at a university. This is important for context. My mom has not ever really supported the fact I wanted to go to a bigger school as she went to community college. About 2 years ago I was in a car accident and I decided to sue the person responsible for the accident. Damages were over $10,000, medical bills over $30,000. My vehicle was beyond repair and insurance only offered me $1,500 after it was all said and done. I tried everything and I am left with severe neck and back pain. I also have trouble with strength in my arms and legs. The driver drove drunk and hit me going at an unreasonable amount of speed. It led to my car flipping over multiple times and needing surgery after. Recently we went to court and although I only asked for $55,000 in court, the judge required him and his insurance company to pay $150,000 to me for damages, medical, and as personal relief as well. I just got the first part of the check on Monday and my mom insisted I give her the entire check, $25,000, so she can have some spending money. After I told her no and told her I would be using it for college expenses as I still have 3 years left, she told me I am not responsible enough to handle it. I explained I am meeting with an accountant on Friday and we are going to open up an account specifically for this and I won't touch the money unless I absolutely need to. She still didn't like that and called me the a-hole for not giving her the check. Her biggest reason after I talked to my grandma was, I gave her life. I'm entitled to something. I am really considering cutting contact with my mom if she continues to behave this way, but I am wanting to better my future. So am I the asshole for this? Not the asshole. 1. You're an adult. 2. You were the injured party, not her. 3. For someone who claims that you're not responsible with money, she wants $25,000 for spending money. Besides, if you give her any of that money, she'll try to drain you dry. Not the asshole. Your mother is a greedy asshole. I can't imagine how much you have suffered as a result of the accident. That is 100% your money. You are being smart by saving it for college. Not the asshole, it's your money to do what you want with. The fact that you're planning on using this money to fund your education shows a great deal of responsibility on your part. If you're living at home, it may be time to think about moving out. Not the asshole, work on getting your legal address changed. I don't understand why you can't get that fixed, but good job having the check handed to you and you only. Not the asshole. You are an adult and the money is yours to spend as you wish. Spending it on education sounds smart to me. Not the asshole unless your mom still has expenses from the accident that she can't pay off. Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my bedroom for my mom's friend? I, 21F. am currently living at home. The area we live in is very expensive for renters and I don't mind living with my parents as we get along fairly well. I pay my parents' rent every month and help out with the utilities as well as making dinners and helping clean. My mom is planning a party for one of her high school friends and has invited other people they went to school with. A few of them are going to be staying at our house. When my mom told me about this, I initially thought nothing of it. We have 3 additional bedrooms aside from ours, 2 that have beds and an office that we put an air mattress in. A few days ago when I came home from work, my mom asked me if my room was ready for the guests. I was confused and asked her what she was talking about. She told me that her friend, Susan, had requested my bedroom to stay in, so she needed me to clean it up, change my sheets and move my things into the office where I would be sleeping. I told my mom, no, I have to work early most of the days that your friends are going to be here and I need good sleep. Also, this is my room and I am paying rent. I asked her why Susan couldn't sleep in the office. She told me that she just didn't want to sleep on an air mattress and she thought my room would be nicer, and since she was a guest it should be given to her. I absolutely refused to give up my room. My mom said I was being selfish and rude and stormed off. She has been giving me the cold shoulder since. When I came home from work last night, Susan was there. She gave me dirty looks when I was making myself dinner in the kitchen and made loud remarks about how her neck would be stiff in the morning from sleeping on an air mattress and that it would be respectful for someone younger to give up their bed. Around 10:30, when I was about to go to sleep, Susan knocked on my door. She was in her pajamas and told me she was ready to go to bed. I told her she was absolutely not sleeping in my bed and slammed the door in her face. This morning before I left for work, my mom yelled at me and told me I was a selfish brat for not letting Susan use my bed and that she couldn't believe how bad I was making them look. I told her to stay out of my room and to keep Susan out of there as well. I thought what I did was justified considering I am paying to live there, but my mom won't stop acting like I am the biggest asshole ever. Not the asshole. I have an idea. Why doesn't your mother give up her room for her friend, guest? Not the asshole, you're paying rent, which means you should be considered a tenant. Landlords can't displace their paying tenants to put up their guests. She is your mom's guest, not yours. Your mother should not have promised the use of your room, which you pay for the use of. If she didn't want to sleep on an air mattress, she should have stayed in a hotel. Not the asshole, you are paying rent and deserve your room. If she doesn't want her friend in the office, she should give up her room. Not the asshole. You pay rent. It's your room. Why didn't your mom give up her room? Not the asshole. You pay rent. The entitlement from both your mom and her guest is laughable. Why couldn't your mom give up her bed? Also, that's so rude that Susan was giving you attitude about it. Can't even wrap my head around it. She's the rude one, not you. Not the asshole. If Susan wants a good night's sleep, she should stay at a hotel. Your mom should offer her own room if she doesn't want her friend sleeping on an air mattress.